It's April of 2020, and we are back at the north side of La Madre Mountain. And you can see La Madre Mountain straight ahead, front and center. And I believe that the approach is going to be right up that ridge on the right side. We will see, and right along the top of that ridge. There's some snow up there that may stop us if we encounter a combination of snow and sharp drop-offs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I've made it up to the base of that ridge, and that was last fall. So we're returning. We found a trail there last fall that at the top of a unpaved road, and that trail, I believe, is the final 3 miles to the summit of La Madre Mountain. We shall find out today. Anyway, let's take a 360-degree view. We've got a pretty beautiful day. Right now it's about 45 degrees, so I don't want to spend too much time standing here. Beautiful day. Sunrise. We're on Kyle Canyon Road. Little parking area right off Kyle Canyon Road. There's the Beast with some larger friends. I hope they don't have gun racks. I don't want to dodge bullets today. And let's take a look. Right on the other side of these trucks is the Mount Charleston Wilderness. And then you see the snow down that direction. There you're looking at, let's see, I think we're looking at the Keystone Thrust and the ridge system, and then back to La Madre Mountain. Okay, I'm starting to freeze, so we're going to run and turn on the furnace here by working up some heat. Here we go. Okay, how did I get here? I took a left at that parking area, which is over in this area. It's a little hill, little rise with a parking area right off Kyle Canyon Road. It's where I parked the Beast, and then headed across I took a left, came down Kyle Canyon Road just a little bit, and across these beautiful Joshua trees, and then found another road here. And this road is going to take me to a turnoff that is going to take me up to La Madre Mountain, up to the base of La Madre Mountain, that last 3 mile area. And I'm just hoping that that ridge on the right side of La Madre Mountain is wide enough that I'm not going to be on some kind of razor's edge. We'll see. Okay, so onward we go down this road. Looks like I've got some company maybe. I hear a car coming. Continuing along the same road that broke off of Kyle Canyon Road. And actually this is Harris Springs Road, Lower Harris Springs Road. And you're looking straight at the Mount Charleston Wilderness. And here's a shot of Mount Charleston, second Saturday in April 2020. So you can see lots of snow there. We're not going to be up there until probably around June. Here's a shot of Harris Mountain, and you can see a ridge that goes up to Griffith Peak in the shade of the clouds. and then circling around, let you know where we are. Okay, now we're looking toward La Madre Mountain, and looks like we'll take that right ridge up. You can see that smooth snow area just a little bit to the right of the summit. That's called the Devil's Slide. Definitely don't want to lose our footing on that and, and take a slide down that. There's enough snow that it'll get you going really fast, and then you hit the rock. So no, we're not going to go down Devil's Slide today. And then here's the 360-degree view where we are. You can see the sunrise. And guess what? We have in the center here is Gas Peak. And we summited Gas Peak a couple of weeks ago. We gave ourselves 2 weeks to recover. And before the next big one, which is today, La Madre Mountain. And we're in a wash here in Lower Harris Springs Road. Very rugged. I love the artistic look of those cliffs here, and then the Joshua trees on the top, little Joshua tree forest. That's about as much of a forest as you get as far as Joshua trees. They like to spread out because there's not a whole lot of water for them to drink. Okay, and we're continuing on up Lower Harris Springs Road. We're going to find a turn off to to the left, where we start to head up a unpaved four-wheel drive road heading up toward the base of La Madre Mountain up here. And so far I've been passed by 3 pickup trucks and a Jeep, and I would almost bet that they're going to be climbing La Madre Mountain. I don't know. There's not a whole lot else out here. There are a few homes further up in, but I have a feeling someone's going to be climbing La Madre Mountain, and I bet I get up there before they do. We'll see. Okay, onward. Okay, first major waypoint. We have ascended, well, we descended about 100 feet and then reascended another 400 feet. And here we are at the first major waypoint. There is the turnoff. And we're going to take this turnoff. The way to know where this unmarked turnoff is, you will see on Lower Harris Springs Road, you'll see kind of a ridge system, hills south of La Madre Mountain. Here's that hill system. And the goal is this road, little four-wheel drive road that then ascends up to the base of La Madre Mountain, it circles around the far side of this hill system as opposed to going over the top of it. And so you just watch this hill system, and just a little bit before where it ends, here's the road. And if you got a four-wheel drive, have fun. You've saved yourself a little time. Anyway, another way to know that you're here at the turnoff is that there is an incline on Harris Springs Road, pretty sharp and short incline, and this turnoff is right before the incline. And there you're looking at the Harris Mountain area. And looking around here, the beautiful Joshua Tree forest in front of us. And here's a shot of Mummy Mountain. So you can just barely see the east side of Mummy Mountain. And then looking around a little further, there is Mount Charleston Observatory. Ah, there we go. Right up on that hill. So even though I'm on a road, I usually navigate by the terrain that's surrounding and just think, where would I put a road? Where would I put a route if there were no road? And usually I'm right, and there will be a road or a trail that appears, disappears. There's Gas Peak. Good shot of Gas Peak. Okay, I've been in my running shorts all morning. It was cold at first, but I got to say that I have taken off the light windbreaker jacket, and soon I may be taking off. I've got a light polyester t-shirt and a tank top under that. And I think the t-shirt will be coming off pretty soon, because this is a healthy incline that we're going to begin as we head up this little four-wheel drive road. So I think I'm a couple miles from the beginning of that trail, and we'll probably see that Jeep and the 3 pickups 2 miles up here parked, and maybe they'll make a path through the snow and I'll just follow their path. That's a great strategy that I've used before. Let somebody else beat the path and then just follow in their footsteps. We'll see. Okay, so onward up this little 4-wheel drive road for the next 2 miles or so. That was the wrong turn. I jumped the gun. I think that I needed to wait a little bit before I turned, because what looked like a 4-wheel drive road was not a 4-wheel drive road, but rather just dead-ended into a wash. Come up the wash a little ways, and there's the La Madre mountain area. It'll be to the left of these hills. So, as I said, it always helps to know the overall terrain. And so what I'm looking at here, there's a ridge up here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this little ridge, and then just looks like you can go right along the top of the ridge, and I'll look for that 4-wheel drive road connector somewhere further on up. So this was not the 4-wheel drive road that I was hoping for, and so we got to make a course correction here, and hopefully I don't lose too much time. It looks like this ridge will be a nice ridge to run on. If you don't know where you are, hit a high spot so that you can get above the area and look around and get a perspective. So we're going to send this little ridge and look around, see where we are, and we'll get a better picture. And then here's the 360-degree view. And once again, looking straight down to Gas Peak. That's a good reference point to keep in mind. But yeah, it's just a little annoying wrong turn here. Let's see if we can make up this time. Okay, onward. Let's get up to the top of this little ridge and look around. My philosophy of getting up to a ridge where I could look around is actually a good philosophy. It worked out today, because right over that ridge is Harris Springs Road. So I'm going to descend back to Harris Springs Road here and then continue on up looking for the next turnoff. So do not take that first turnoff. Well, you won't get very far, even in a four-wheel drive. And here's the view around. You can see Mount Charleston Wilderness. Just beautiful. There's a good shot of Mount Charleston. To the left, Griffith Peak, and then going down this ridge in front of Griffith Peak, you end up at Harris Mountain. And there's, Mummy Mountain. And here's the Mount Charleston Observatory. And then continuing to circle around, we see all our familiar friends here. There's the tip of the Sheep Range coming into view. And then over this direction, here's Gas Peak. So, yeah, it helps to know the surrounding mountains. And so I lost about 5 minutes. And, following this philosophy, I can make a bad decision and correct it within 5 minutes. So, here we go. Onward up Harris Springs Road to the true turnoff. It was actually the very next road. And I'm almost certain, I've said that before, but I'm almost certain that what we're looking at here is the little four-wheel drive road that ascends to the base of La Madre Mountain, where the final 3-mile trail / route begins. And here's Harris Springs Road, and you're looking at just a beautiful, incredible view of here's the, part of the, it may be part of the Keystone Thrust. But let's see, looking up in this direction, Mount Charleston Wilderness, and this would be the Griffith Peak area up here. And that may be actually Griffith Peak, or it may be Harris Mountain. Might be Harris Mountain, actually. Yeah, it is Harris Mountain. And you continue on up to Griffith Peak, which is hidden by Harris Mountain. We'll see it a little later as we continue to ascend. There you see the Mount Charleston, and to the left, the upper south ridge of Kyle Canyon. And continuing around, you can see Fletcher Peak and Mummy Mountain over here. So I give you an idea of where we are in this respect. And here is the area. I guess if you were to maybe go over these hills in front of us, you would reach Kyle Canyon Road. Yeah, and you can tell I'm really sure. And here is the Sheep Range. I am totally sure of that. And here is Gas Peak. And of course, we're looking down Harris Springs Road. So let you know where the true turnoff is. So it's actually that turnoff after what looked like a turnoff that turned out to be a dead end. And you would have found out if you'd taken your four-wheel drive or you decided to run up that road, you would have gone about 20 feet and the road would have ended. Here, this road is not going to end. It's going to continue on a couple miles up to the base of La Madre Mountain. So let's continue on upward. And yes, to this point, it's taken me about 45 minutes. So about a 45-minute run. I wasn't making any speed records, but it's not really substantial. So onward. Okay, this little road meets another road that is actually just another route to Harris Springs Road. There's like two turnoffs here. One is the first turnoff is maybe what we call the eastern turnoff. The next one, only about a quarter mile up the road, is the western turnoff, but they both meet right at this point and then take off to up this canyon. Now this canyon it circles around and is going to head back toward the base of La Madre Mountain. There's La Madre Mountain is coming into view a little more sharply. And then you can see the Keystone Thrust to the right. And if you were standing on there, you'd be looking straight down on Red Rock Park and the Calico Basin. So gives you an idea where we are here. And this little road, as you take a left and head on up, we're going up a canyon, and one of the locals told me this is Cougar Canyon, I believe. It may be this one or the next canyon, but there are a number of mountain lions in the area, I'm told. And they're very shy, so we don't need to necessarily be worried about being eaten, but maybe we'll see a mountain lion. I don't think I'd be running this road at night. But anyway, onward toward La Madre Mountain. By the way, here is evidence of that Jeep and the 3 pickup trucks heading on up this road up toward the base of La Madre Mountain. Maybe we'll see them up there. Maybe they'll forge a path for me. Who knows? Okay, onward. Well, overall, we've ascended about 800 feet, and love how the plant life changes as you ascend. And now we're seeing the Joshua tree area give way to junipers and pines. And those will become thicker. Joshua trees a little less. In fact, they'll eventually disappear. So here is the 360-degree view. And you can see we're skirting that hilly area. Beautiful little juniper tree right here. Love how look at the trunk, how rugged it is. Okay, and you can see still some hang-on Joshuas. Looking down toward Kyle Canyon Road. Here's a nice little pine. So junipers and pines at this point. We are around 5,400 feet. Joshua trees begin usually around around 3,000 feet. And they begin to peter out around 5,000 feet, 5,500 where we are at this point. So let's continue on up. Here is the Keystone Thrust. If you were standing on top of that snowy ridge, you'd be looking straight down into Red Rock Park. Okay, onward. Here's a good northern perspective of the Keystone Thrust. I've actually been up to this point on the Keystone Thrust, and I started from Red Rock Park, Willow Springs area, and I summited the Keystone Thrust somewhere down in this area. I summited that ridge system and then traveled along the top of the ridge system up to this point. Took me about 6 hours. By that time I was ready to turn around. I'm closing in on that area right now with only about an hour and a half from Kyle Canyon Road, so that's good news. And of course here you have La Madre Mountain. You can see Devil's Slide, that snow area. We definitely want to avoid that, and I don't know which side I'm going to take up, because it looks like everywhere near the top is a cliff. So we'll see if there's some kind of a faint trail at least that will guide me up. Anyway, yeah, we're continuing up this this little road up Cougar Canyon, and you can see when I reached this point up here in my earlier run from Red Rock Park, the reason I turned around at that point was I'd gone 6 hours and I was looking at all this broken up area between that point and La Madre Mountain, which looked like it would take another 3 hours or so. Just a little too much for one day, because then there would be the return trip. So hopefully this northern route will get me up to the top of La Madre Mountain. We will see. La Madre Mountain is really in the middle of nowhere, and there's no easy access. I guess if you have a four-wheel drive vehicle, you can save about 10-mile round trip or more from Kyle Canyon Road, and then just be fresh, get out of your vehicle, and head the last 3 miles up La Madre Mountain. That's probably the quickest way to the summit of La Madre Mountain. Okay, and let's just take a look around where we are. You can see that the Joshua trees have largely given way to junipers and pines. We are entering into pretty much a forest. Now you're looking down. Here is, well, let's take a look at a few landmarks here. There is Mount Charleston, that smooth, snow-covered mountain. And to the left would be the Griffith Peak area. And you see 2 peaks there, right in the center. The one on the left is, I believe, Griffith Peak. The one on the right is Harris Mountain. And, okay, Mount Charleston, the snow-covered, smooth mountain. And then there you see Lee Peak. And over here we have, I think we're looking at Fletcher Peak. I don't know. I'm not used to this perspective. Fletcher Peak, Mummy Mountain area, definitely. And then over here is the Mount Charleston Observatory. And boy, if I ever got lost in this area, I would just be looking at all these landmarks and triangulating my way back to a path or a road. Okay, and there's down in the area toward Kyle Canyon Road. And then the hill system that this little four-wheel drive road skirts in order to get us up to the base of La Madre Mountain. So give you an idea of the lay of the land here. So let's continue on up. Well, we've ascended about 1,400 feet, and this road is now entering La Madre Mountains Wilderness, which is 40,000 square acres, and it is 4 times the size of Red Rock Park, which is 10,000 acres. And here you can see a dramatic change in the plant life around us. Definitely in the midst of pines and junipers. I don't see many, if any, Joshua trees in this area. And you can see the path is narrowed here and is weaving through this beautiful forested area. And right over that sign is La Madre Mountain, our target. We'll see how close we can get to the summit. There's Devil's Slide, that snowy area there. We'll definitely not be going up that. Okay, let's continue on up. Closing in on La Madre Mountain, continuing up this little road. I see tire tracks, and I'm going to bet that we'll at least see that white Jeep and maybe 3 pickup trucks, because it looks like there's more than the Jeep that traveled up this road. And where they park is going to show me where the trailhead is. So anyway, looking around, you can see some yucca plants, pines, junipers. There's a shot down toward Mummy Mountain. And we're definitely just a couple hours run from Kyle Canyon Road. And look at the difference in the landscape here. And then over here, there's the sheep range. There's a tree that didn't make it through the winter. Maybe a couple years ago. It gets pretty super hot in the summer here, and very cold and windy and snowy, icy in the winter. So it's a pretty tough place to be a plant. Okay, well, let's just continue up this road and circle around and find the trailhead to La Madre Mountain. Okay, here we are closing in on the trailhead to La Madre Mountain. And there's La Madre Mountain. And it's looking much more doable from this angle. Looks like there are some good approaches there. So that's good news. Still looks like there's a bit of a head wall up at near the summit that we'll encounter. Head wall is that little cliff area right before you get to the summit of a mountain. Okay, and then here's the Keystone Thrust. And once again, if you're standing on top of this, and I've traveled along the top of the Keystone Thrust from Red Rock Park, but if you're standing on the top of this, you're looking straight down into Red Rock Park. Beautiful, beautiful view. And circling around, let's get out here past this juniper bush. Okay, circling around, we're looking at some mountains. Okay, that was really descriptive. And here is a little more description. Here is Griffith Peak in the Mount Charleston Wilderness. And just a little bit to the right of Griffith Peak, I believe this is the spot right here, is Harris Mountain. And there's a ridge you can take between Harris Mountain and Griffith Peak. Not many people take that ridge, but I've been mapping it out and have taken it. And you can see that on the Griffith Harris Circuit page of Las Vegas area trails. And now we're looking, you can see the very tip of Mount Charleston. Let's see, where is that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that rounded snow-covered mountain. That's Mount Charleston. And Lee Peak right here in the center. And you can see that circuit between Mount Charleston and Lee Peak is the Charleston Loop, and that's the North Loop Trail. And then you look over here and you can see kind of a rounded, tree-covered lower mountain. That's Fletcher Peak. And then the snow-covered peak behind it is the 11,500 foot Mummy Mountain. And then continuing on around, of course, there is the Mount Charleston Observatory. So it gives you a different perspective of the Mount Charleston Wilderness. And here we are in the midst of the La Madre Mountain Wilderness. And of course, La Madre Mountain is right up here and in the middle of nowhere. You just can't get to La Madre Mountain without and if you're parking at an asphalt, closest asphalt road, you're looking at a long trek. And of course the Beast, which is my car, only does asphalt roads. So so that leaves me to do a whole lot of trail running. But here we are at the base, almost at the base of La Madre Mountain. We'll be at the trailhead soon and we'll take a look at that. Okay, here we are, the end of the road. The end of this four-wheel drive road. There's a little turnaround. Looks like one of the vehicles at least took the turnaround and decided, nope, this isn't the trailhead, so they must have parked somewhere else. However, from one previous little experience, I discovered what looks like a trail. So we're going to go ahead and take this and see where it leads us. And there's a little marker on the pine tree here. So I'm gonna guess that maybe this is a trail, and you see a ridge over here. We might want to get up that ridge, and on the other hand, maybe we want to go straight toward La Madre Mountain. I don't know, but hopefully this trail is not going to give out on me. It looks like somebody's taken a trail bike on this, meaning a motorized trail bike. But anyway, let's just take this and see where we end up. And hopefully it's going to connect with something that is going to show us how to get up La Madre Mountain. Here we go. Okay, looks like we're seeing a number of little markers, a little red or pink ribbons tied to trees, and that is indicating maybe this is a trail. So that's good news. We'll see. The bad news is somebody is shooting a firearm up in this area, which I hope they're watching very carefully to make sure that what they're shooting at is actually a target and not a human like me. Okay, onward. Well, it's becoming apparent that those little pink ribbons are leading up in a direction I don't think is the direction we want to go. I think you might be able to see, if you look carefully, a pink ribbon up at the top of this hill, but you know, the direction we want to go is this way toward La Madre Mountain. And I think as I look more closely at this, those pink ribbons look more like somebody who was on a dirt bike and they just shot straight up this hill. I think I need to be over at the ridge over there. And so what I'm going to do is find a way to cross over to that ridge and hopefully find a connector trail somewhere over on this ridge over here. This may just be another exploration day, so we can figure out how to navigate this final section up La Madre Mountain. It looks to me like the vehicles that drove up this road did not park anywhere near where I left the road. There was another branch off to the left, and maybe they parked down there. I'm going to need to do some exploration and mainly see what I need to do to get over to this ridge system over here, and then navigate that over to toward La Madre Mountain. So looks like a false trail. Pink ribbons did not do it for me. So let's do some retracing and there's some navigation between this ridge I'm on and the next ridge over. I think that's where I need to be. Okay, here we go. We are back at that turnaround at the end of the four-wheel drive road, and I'm going to try another route. And here you see where the pink ribbons headed up in this direction, and as I mentioned, it looks like as I went up in that direction, it looked like a dirt bike, and motorized dirt bike, definitely. And boy, they really tore up the wilderness up there. Saw broken plants all the way up. But what they missed was this little trail. Let's try this. And I think this might give us the true trail and connector. So let's go ahead and take this. Here we go. Yes, this is looking like an actual trail. And it's heading down, which, you know, there's La Madre Mountain. This is heading down that to that valley between these two ridges here, and I'm going to imagine that it climbs up the other side, but this is actually looking like a much more established trail than that little dirt bike excursion that we were following a moment ago. So I think we're back on track. Let's continue down. And it's like I said, very much more established. So I can't imagine this just disappearing into nothing. So let's just see where this one leads. Here we go. Yes, definitely. This is continuing on as what looks like a pretty nice trail, and I guess the ribbon color here is yellow. So I believe that this is the closest thing to a maintained trail that we're going to find, and somebody has gone along here, maybe the BLM or the Forest Service, and put some yellow ribbons that we can follow. Here's where I just came down, and so, and this is also, see, I'm looking at a whole lot of different factors as I pick my way along here. One is I knew that we needed to head down this this ridge and then up the next ridge over, and we needed to head toward La Madre Mountain. And sure enough, what appeared was this trail, and somebody who's making some marks here. It's very different than that dirt bike trail, which was just torn up wilderness, no trail at all. So this looks like a real trail. We are going to follow this and see where it leads. Here we go. Well, that path that was marked with the yellow ribbons led to this wash that I've been going up, and it's just not looking good. Here I am in this area, and there's La Madre Mountain. So I'm going to assume that the true path left this wash and I missed it, and it ascended this ridge up ahead. So I just need to get to the top of this ridge so I can look around and see where I am. And that's what I'm going to do, and see if we can reconnect with the true path, because this just, this wash is just not looking like it's going anywhere at this point. There are signs that somebody has trimmed trees around here, but I'm just not liking the way this wash is looking. I want to go up higher where I can look around and see where I am, and then on the way back I can descend back into this wash and take it down to where the path met it. So here we go, up to the top of the ridge, and then we'll look around and see what we can see. Okay, we're about 1,700 feet below La Madre Mountain, which you can see directly front and center. I did come up to the top of that other adjoining ridge, and it looks to me like, well, I don't see anything that resembles a trail here, but I do see a ridge system that could potentially be followed here up to the top of La Madre Mountain. I don't know. Had I stayed below in that wash, maybe I would have come out of the wash and then ascended up this direction to La Madre Mountain. And that almost looks like a better route, because then I would have been able to just, once I worked my way through a narrow point in that wash, would have been able to go up a much more, well, I don't know if it's more approachable. It's, all of these are have their limitations, but one thing I can say is, yes, that looks like La Madre Mountain. And here we've got the Keystone Thrust stretching out here, and I don't know exactly what the makeup is of this ridge system. We'll have to discover it, but I do know that on the way back I'm going to be looking for this little snow covered hill and then straight down that ridge beneath is the direction back to the end of the road. And then once I hit that four-wheel drive road, I'm heading back, and it's easy navigation. There you see the Mount Charleston Wilderness, and so we still have all our points of reference all around us. Here's the Mount Charleston Observatory. And through the trees here, well, you can't really see it. The sheep range right through there. So we've got our points of reference all around us. And for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what it's like to navigate along the top of this ridge system. See if I can get up to La Madre Mountain. I've got a turnaround point in about an hour. So if I don't get up to the top in an hour, then at least I'll have another route that I got closer to the top. Okay. Onward and upward. We're getting mighty close to La Madre Mountain and to the summit. We're about, I'd say 1,000 feet shy of the summit. But it's looking increasingly difficult as far as the navigation. And we're just about at a turnaround point. I think I'm going to go up to this next rise and see what we can see from there. But it does look pretty doable. At least I could get up to that spot on a return trip. I don't know what the navigation is like between that spot and the summit itself. There's La Madre Mountain summit. And you can see the Devil's Slide, very beautiful. But I don't know what it's like getting from this hill on the right to the actual summit, which is probably 200 or 300 feet above that hill. So anyway, we will, let's take a 360-degree view around the area. Here you see the top of the Keystone Thrust, and there's an area that we've stood on before. If you look at the La Madre Mountain East page, you'll see how I got there from Willow Springs in Red Rock Park. And here's a view around the area. You can see the entire Mount Charleston Wilderness coming into view here. And you're looking at, there's Griffith Peak. And right about this area, yes, I think that is Harris Mountain. And then here's Mount Charleston. And then moving around, there's Lee Peak. And then here is Harris Mountain in the foreground with the trees. And then behind it is Mummy Mountain. So there you see the view around the area. Navigating this ridge has really taken a lot of time because there are lots of little clifflets to navigate and climb, little bouldering. But I do want to see if I can get up to this next ridge up here and just look around, get a better view. So let's try doing that. and we'll see if we make it up there, but I think that's going to be our turnaround point. Well, I think it's safe to say that we are at the end of today's journey. Here you see the Mount Charleston Wilderness from this high point in the La Madre Mountain Wilderness. And you can see a road down there. That's the road that goes from Kyle Canyon to Lee Canyon up near Mount Charleston. And of course you can see Griffith Peak, and a little below in front there is Harris Mountain, and then Mount Charleston, or Charleston Peak, Lee Peak right in the center there, Mummy Mountain, and right in front of it Fletcher Peak. And then moving on in this direction, there's the Mount Charleston Observatory. And now circling around into view, there you see Kyle Canyon Road below us. And Harris Road. Pretty much our our point of origin, right down in that area where you see a road branching off between Kyle Canyon Road and Harris Springs Road, Lower Harris Springs Road. That's where the Beast is parked. Seems like a long way away. And circling around here, oh, you're looking at the sheep range. And there's Gas Peak right in the center. And then below Gas Peak, you see a little triangular shaped road system, which is the end of Decatur Boulevard, and the up there in the triangle is the Clark County Gun Range. And then below that, you're seeing Centennial Hills. Now we're circling around and definitely deep into the La Madre Mountain Wilderness. And let's readjust my seating here on the edge of this rock ledge. Here's La Madre Mountain itself, all its glory. And there's the Devil's Slide. That is what I call the permanent snowfield, because it is white throughout the summer. And it's been called the La Madre Mountain Scar. I think that's the most common name for it. It's just pretty much a cliff there, and you definitely don't want to climb that. That's like they say, Devil's Slide. So it's got a few different names, but not very inviting. And then here is, this may be El Padre Mountain. I'm not sure. But when you're on top of this ridge here and on top of La Madre Mountain, you're looking straight down into Calico Basin and Red Rock Park. And then moving along this way is the Keystone Thrust System, ridge system. We've made it about to this point before from Red Rock Park. So give you an idea where we are here. Definitely not any exposure to worry about. There's the, rocky area, and I'm pretty much perched on the edge of this, and it's not that much of a drop, but if you drop here in the middle of nowhere, it's a long crawl back home. So you got to be careful not even to stumble. And you can see just the rocky area right here where we are perched. This is, of course, we're in the middle of 2020 COVID world pandemic social distancing time. And I guess this would be the ultimate social distancing. I don't think there's anyone within 5 to 10 miles of this spot. In fact, I would question whether anyone has actually been up in this very spot before, or any time recently at least. It's not the main way up. I may go down some of those avalanche slopes on the other side. There is a kind of valley, and I may go down that way, because this ridge was just a lot of navigation. You saw the rocks that I'm on here, and there was a lot of climbing up, down these rocks and finding little openings. And I don't know about trying to find all those openings on the way back. I think it'd take a long time for me to piece that together. So I may try a little more direct route that doesn't involve flying. Anyway, truly beautiful views today. And because of the lack of traffic on the roads, it's probably more clear here in this spot than it has been for about 70 years at least, because the traffic level is down so much. And this is such a beautiful day. So enjoy these views. We may never see this again in our lifetimes, or in our great-grandchildren's lifetimes. Usually this whole valley, there's the Las Vegas Valley right down there, is so, Centennial Hills. Let's get a closer look. Usually this valley down here is so hazy you can hardly see it. And now here we are way up on La Madre Mountain, and it is just crystal clear. So this is a really historic view from this location. So take it in and enjoy. Okay, it's time to piece my way back, and I'll document the return route that I take, and see if I can find a route that doesn't involve climbing along this ridge. Okay, what a beautiful day. Well, curiously, I took the same ridge back. I skirted the I skirted the lower area at first, and then I decided, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and go back onto the ridge. Of course, it didn't take any up climbing because I was angling my way down, and eventually I circled around and came to the exact spot where this trail is located, which, you know, what are the chances? Anyway, this is the trail that ends with the road, and the road is about it's about an hour and a half running back downhill all the way. So I'll be taking the road back. Saw a couple climbers way up on the ridge, just north of La Madre Mountain, and they were going to do a big circuit. So anyway, wow, here we are. The return trip was probably 1/3 to 1/4 the time that it took to get here. And now we're going to be emerging back onto the 4-wheel drive road, which is right here. And then it's just a beeline run down this road, back to Harris Springs Road, and then down Harris Springs to Kyle Canyon, where we started. So I'm thinking about an hour and a half and I'll be back. So what a great trip on the way back. And it was a good exploration on the way. I discovered some approaches I think I would take. Well, let's take a look. If I were to do this again, rather than take that ridge that I took, I might try to go further up the wash and then begin ascending this ridge immediately below that high point. Right next to that high point is La Madre Mountain, and I'd like to be up there and just look around and see if there's a direct route to the summit of La Madre Mountain from that high point. So I will return and we'll take another route up and see if that is potentially a better route. If not, then I can always cross over in front of that high point and then ascend. And once you're at the high point, you're almost equal with La Madre Mountain, just 100 or so feet below it. So the whole question is, will there be cliffs in the way? Will there be drop-offs? We don't know. But that is the goal, to get on top of that high point and look around and see what's next. So next time, that's my goal. And we'll see if we can streamline the trip a little better. Okay, so what a great day though. Some beautiful shots of La Madre Mountain from the north. And the Devil's Slide, the snow, the rugged cliffs on a crystal clear day. Okay, now it's a run back to Kyle Canyon Road, and then we'll go for another experience next week. Onward. About 45 minutes to Harris Springs Road. So, continuing on. Nice little vehicle. Yeah, I'd take that one up to the top of that four-wheel drive road. That'd be a lot of fun. Also make it so I only have to go 3 miles round trip. Well, 6 miles probably to La Madre Mountain, as opposed to 20 miles round trip, which I did today. Okay, let's run it in to Kyle Canyon Road. Here we go. Here we are back at the Beast. Now let's see, how long did it take us? It took about an hour and 15-20 minutes to get down from the top of that four-wheel drive road. What a great day. Okay, signing off.